Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr. Today we have a matchup in the best of the 1960s tournament using season ticket baseball. And this matchup is between the 1964 Chicago White Sox and the 1961 New York Yankees. Now this is game two of this matchup between these two teams. In game one, as you can see here, the Yankees topped the White Sox 7-5 thanks to quite a few home runs, actually. Whitey Ford actually was cruising in this one until the eighth inning. As you can see, he only allowed one hit heading into the eighth inning, and then he tired a little bit. And Dave Nicholson hit a leadoff homer to break up the shutout, and he ended up allowing 5 runs in the eighth inning. But the Yankees, by that time, had already scored 6 of their own. Juan Pizarro was injured in the second inning in this one, and after he left, a couple of relievers came in for Chicago. But Moose Skowron had 2 homers himself, 2 solo shots. Mickey Mantle had a solo shot, and Roger Maris had a 2-run homer. So those 4 home runs really made the difference here by providing all the offense that the Yankees would need to win this one 7-5. And so we are here ready for game 2. And I've already rolled for the weather. We are here in Yankee Stadium, 1961 Yankee Stadium. It is a night game in September. And so I rolled 11 here, plus the 54, made the game time temperature 65 degrees. This roll 12 here means it's cloudy, and this 9 means there's no significant wind. So we'll be even up in that case. So let's take a quick look at, by the way, you can head over to baseballmaelstrom.com if you want to follow the action and see write-ups in every game and all of the projects that I have ever done on the channel. The 2 that I have currently are this one and my Payoff Pitch project. But if you click on the 1960s tourney, you can get to the stats and all of that fun stuff, as well as the bracket for the tournament as we see it. And we are in a best of 5 series here in what is really the first round of the double elimination tournament. And as you can see, the Yankees, the 61 Yankees, are the number 1 seed in the American League, and the 1964 White Sox are the number 5 seed in the American League. So the White Sox have a road ahead of them if they want to top the Yankees. So with all that said, let's take a look at the starting lineups for these teams, starting with the Chicago White Sox. Leading off at first base will be Tommy McCraw. Batting second at second base is Don Buford. Floyd Robinson will be in right field and batting third. A cleanup hitter will be Pete Ward at third base. And interestingly enough, we have Moose Skowron here also on the White Sox. He was 33-year-old DH. He'll be a DH in this game at least. 33-year-old first baseman for the White Sox in that year. Batting sixth will be Gene Stevens in left field. Batting seventh, Ron Hansen playing shortstop. Batting eighth, Mike Hirschberger will be in center field today. And batting ninth is the catcher, J.C. Martin. On the mound for the White Sox will be Joe Horlin. Horlin was 13-9 that year with a 1.88 ERA. Pretty decent pitcher for the White Sox. Now let's take a look at the lineup for the New York Yankees. And what a lineup it is. Leading off at second base is Bobby Richardson. Batting second at shortstop, Tony Kubek. Roger Maris is going to be batting third in right field. Mickey Mantle will be batting in the cleanup spot in center. Yogi Berra in left field batting fifth. Johnny Blanchard batting sixth and DHing today. Elston Howard will be catching and batting seventh. Moose Skowron will be batting 8th at first base, and Clete Boyer will be batting 9th and playing third base for the Yankees. On the mound for the Yankees, Ralph Terry. Terry was 16-3 with a 3.15 ERA back in 1961. And I also have the defenses set up here so that I can have quick reference to those when I need them. Let's kind of shrink this down a little bit. Oh yeah, I don't need, there we go. So I have a little defensive cheat sheet that I use for these season ticket games to make it easier to have a quick reference to the defensive numbers when I need them. And so, with all that said, I believe we are ready for the first pitch here in Yankee Stadium. Ralph Terry taking the mound, facing off against Tommy McCraw here in the first inning. And right away, he strikes him out. 3 straight pitches to Tommy McCraw and 3 straight swings and misses. Brings up Don Buford. 225. Buford is a switch hitter. And Buford pops this one up in foul territory down the third base line. And that would be hauled in by Boyer for out number 2. Floyd Robinson. Robinson hitting just 200 in the tournament. He draws a walk. He draws a 2-out walk here in the first inning. Now, Elston Howard has a decent arm, but Robinson's not going to go anywhere here. That brings up Pete Ward, the cleanup hitter. Ward is hitting 318 in the tournament. White Sox had to beat the Twins, the 65 Twins, to get here. 293, that's going to be a deep drive. Deep to right field. 918. Is that going to be deep enough? It is. It's deep and long and just over the wall for a home run for Pete Ward. And just like that, the White Sox have taken a 2-0 lead here in the first inning. Terry left that one a little bit too far over the middle of the plate. And Pete Ward has his first home run of the tournament here against the Yankees. See if the White Sox can continue this 2-out rally. Not to be the case. Skowron grounds to third, and Boyer will throw over to Skowron, the Yankees Skowron, for out number 3. But not before the White Sox get on the board early. Put some pressure on the Yankees here with a 2-0 lead here in the first. And Bobby Richardson steps in against Joe Horlen here for the White Sox. 431. Richardson grounds this one to short. Hansen will throw over to first. McCraw snags it for out number 1. Tony Kubek. And this one's a fly ball to deep center. Hirschberger has room, and he settles under it for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for the Yankees in the first inning. That brings up Roger Maris. Maris had that home run in game 1. 617 becomes a 627 for the home team. And this time he pops one up on the infield. Hansen under it. A 1-2-3 inning here in the first. And we head to the top of the second. White Sox still up 2-0, obviously. Terry facing off against Gene Stevens here. Oops. Well, that's not what we wanted to hit. A 108 becomes a 308, and he watches strike 3 right in the outside corner go by. Second strikeout for Terry. Ron Hansen steps in. 572. This is a fly ball to Yogi Berra in left. Berra, easy play. And once again, we have 2 quick outs here. Mike Hirschberger steps in. A 601 isn't going to do anything. 601, that's a grounder to short. Easy play. Kubek over to Skowron for out number 3. So 1-2-3 inning here in the second. We head to the bottom of the second. Horland will face the middle of the Yankee order, starting with Mickey Mantle. And Horland strikes him out. Mantle with the strikeout here to lead off the second, excuse me. That brings up Yogi Berra. Berra is still looking for his first hit. He didn't play in the first game because they had a left-handed pitcher on the mound. A 106 becomes a 306, and he strikes out Berra looking. If it's a redirect, those I call strikeout lookings, and I believe that's the guidance that's given by Clay when you're playing season ticket baseball. It brings up Johnny Blanchard. And Blanchard grounds one back to the mound. Horland up with it and over to first. 6 straight batters retired by Horland here to lead off this game. Takes us to the top of the third. Terry facing the very bottom of the White Sox order with J.C. Martin. Martin hitting 286, 2 for 7 in the tournament. 647. 647 is a grounder to second. Near the bag, Richardson will throw over to first for out number 1. And we're back to the top of the White Sox order, starting with Tommy McCraw. McCraw, 5 for 10 in the tournament. And this is another fly ball to left. Berra on the run, but easy play for out number 2. Don Buford. Buford popped up in his last at-bat. 183. This time he grounds one to first, and Skowron will take it to the bag himself. And we have a quick inning again as we head to the bottom of the third. Horland will face the bottom of the Yankees order, starting with Elston Howard. 228. And Howard is a righty, so he grounds this one to third. Ward over to first. 1 down. Skowron steps in. He was 3 for 4 in game 1. 280. Horland does not allow a lot of homers. He allowed 11 home runs in 210 innings pitched, 210 2/3. And in this case, with a righty up, that's going to be a pop-up on the infield. And Hansen will be under it, calls everybody off, and there are 2 down. Clete Boyer, very bottom of the Yankees order here, number 9 hitter. And this one's going to be 620. This is going to be another pop-up on the infield, this time to second. And Buford hauls it in. And Horland has now been through the Yankees order, and nobody's reached base yet. We head to the top of the fourth. Terry facing off against the heart of the White Sox order, starting with Floyd Robinson. Robinson walked in his first at-bat to set up that 2-run homer by Pete Ward with 2 outs. 392, and it's a base hit. That's a base hit to left. Robinson rounds the bag. Once again, he's not going to try anything on Howard's arm. But once again, Pete Ward comes to the plate with a runner on. 562, not as lucky this time, as this one's hit right to Kubek there, and he'll flip to Richardson and over to first for the double play. 6-4-3, textbook double play there. That brings up Skowron. 682. And that's going to be a base hit. 2-out single here for Skowron. Keeps the inning alive. And brings up Gene Stevens, who struck out in his first at bat. And he strikes him out again. So Terry does allow a couple of base runners, but no damage done. And we head to the bottom of the fourth now. The Yankees still looking for that first base runner. Top of the order, Bobby Richardson. 657 for the home team. And this is a grounder to short. Hansen over to first. 1 down. Almost the same place Richardson hit it last time. Kubek comes up. 461. Finally, the Yankees are going to get a base hit here, as this is a base hit in the gap near right field. And Kubek will be into second with a double. So 1-out double here, and the Yankees finally have their first base runner. And now the dangerous part of the order here. Horland will have to be careful. Roger Maris, 237. Maris is a lefty, and this is another pop-up. Maris can't seem to get one out of the infield. And this one, McCraw will be under, and that's out number 2. So 2 down, runner on second. Mickey Mantle steps to the plate. 699, that's going to be a deep drive, folks. 709 is a deep to center field, and we have a high number 13. That's a 23. Certainly, Maris gets all of this one. Deep to center field. Oh my gosh. 23. Look at that. Deep to center field, but at the wall, Hirschberger makes a little leaping catch. And that's going to be out number 3. Maris thought he had a home run here, and so did everybody in the stadium. But Hirschberger, with the jumping grab, keeps this a 2-0 game. Big play there for the White Sox. Wow. So we head to the top of the 5th. Yankees almost tied it up. Ralph Terry facing the bottom of the White Sox order, starting with Ron Hansen. 224. And Hansen grounds this one to third. Boyer over to first. 1 down. Hirschberger steps up after that great play in center. 694. It's going to be something. And Hirschberger draws a walk here. It's just the second walk issued by Terry. Hirschberger with a little bit of speed, but he's not going anywhere. J.C. Martin, 198. Martin flies this one to left, and Berra ranges to his right a little bit, but makes the play. 2 down. We're back to the top of the order here for the White Sox, Tommy McCraw. 461, McCraw. This one a deep drive to center. But Mantle will have room, and that'll be the 3rd out. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. Sox still up 2-0. Horland facing off against Yogi Berra. 361. Berra grounds this one right to McCraw. McCraw will take this one to the bag himself, and there's 1 out. Blanchard is 0 for 1. He did not play also in Game 1 because of the lefty pitcher starting that game. 146 becomes a 346. And Blanchard dribbles one on the infield, and nobody's going to be able to get him at first. So we have an infield single here for Blanchard. He has a speed of 3. Martin's arm is a 5. So Blanchard's not going anywhere. And that brings up Elston Howard. 344. This one's popped up on the infield. Buford under this one. 2 down. Skowron steps to the plate. Two outs, runner on. And grounds one to Hansen. And Hansen will have the easy play. He'll flip to the bag at second. Flip to Buford for out number 3. So another quiet inning for the Yankees. They do get a base hit, but not able to do anything. And we're headed to the top of the 6th now. Ralph Terry facing off against Don Buford. 426. And that will be a ground ball to second. Richardson over to first for out number 1. Robinson, he's 1 for 1. He walked in his first plate appearance and singled in his second. This one's a fly ball to left field. Berra has to make a little bit of a run for it, but he's able to track it down. He's seen a lot of action here today in today's game. So 2 down, and Pete Ward steps in. And he strikes him out. That is the 4th strikeout for Terry, and that will end the 6th inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Horland still cruising here, starting with the very bottom of the Yankees order, Clete Boyer. And we have a rare play. This is always scary and dangerous. 328, 328. Rare play. 328. Let's zoom in a little bit and see what that 328 is. 328. Strikeout. Batter strikes out looking and is ejected from the game. Oh, boy. So, Boyer gets called out on strikes on a pitch. He argues a little bit with the ump, and he is thrown out of this one. So, we'll see at the turn of the inning who's going to take his place at third base. So, 1 down here in the 6th. Boyer just got ejected. Yankees not having a good time out there today. But Richardson bloops this one over the infield, and that'll fall in for a base hit. So, single here in the 6th for Richardson. Steal of 4, and a roll of 5. So, if this die roll is less than the steal, then he tries to get a good jump, but he does not in this case. So that'll bring up Kubek. 340. And this one's a pop-up on the infield, a little bit in foul territory, but Ward will have room for out number 2. Yankees have gotten a couple of base runners on, but have just left them where they were. But we have Roger Maris stepping in, a very dangerous part of the order again for Horland. 214. This time, though, Maris grounds right to second. Buford will flip to Hansen there at second base, and that will end the inning. So let's take a look and see who is going to replace Clete Boyer out at third base. Probably going to be Billy Gardner. Yeah, Billy Gardner, it looks like, is going to replace Boyer. All right, so we're going to pinch our, we're going to go to the defense. We're going to bring in, who did I say? Gardner. Billy Gardner. We're going to bring in Billy Gardner to play third here. And we are also going to bring him in to the lineup. So Gardner will play takeover for Boyer at third. All right. And Terry, who, by the way, is, if we look at the innings here, is 6. So any base runner now will add to his fatigue. Really, that home run in the first inning is really the only real danger he's been in. And he'll face Skowron, Stevens, and Hansen here in the 7th. 255. 255 will be a 585. That's Mickey Mantle in center. And Mantle has to make a running catch here, but does catch up to it. And that will be the first out. Looked like it might fall in, but not quite, as Mantle catches up to it. 680 here for Gene Stevens. That's probably going to be something. 680 is a base hit to center. So Stevens, with the base hit after 2 strikeouts in today's game, finally connects here for a single. That means Ralph Terry now has 1 level of fatigue. And that brings up Hansen with 1 out and 1 on. 444. And that is going to race that base runner immediately, as Hansen grounds this one right to Gardner, who's fresh in at third base. Gardner to Richardson to Skowron around the horn for the double play. It's the second double play the Yankees have turned today. And now we are at the 7th inning stretch, folks. This game's been a quick one, as both teams have been in top form, both pitchers, other than that one mistake in the first inning. So as we head to the bottom of the 7th, we have the White Sox with 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. The Yankees still looking for a first run here. 3 hits and no errors for the Yankees. We head to the bottom of the 7th, and Horland will face off against Mickey Mantle here to lead off the 7th. Mantle had the near home run in his last at bat. Not so this time, as he strikes him out. Horland with the strikeout here. That's his 4th strikeout of the game. Mantle's 2nd. Yogi Berra. 612 becomes a 622, and that's a pop-up on the infield. Buford under this one. 2 down. Blanchard, 1 for 2 today. 214, and Blanchard grounds this one to second. Buford, easy play to first. And another 1-2-3 inning here for the Yankees, whose time is running out if they want to get back in this game. We head to the top of the 8th. Bottom of the order here. And Ralph Terry does have 1 level of fatigue, but still doing pretty well. 357. Hirschberger pops this one up. Skowron will be under it for out number 1. J.C. Martin. 679 is going to be something probably, right? 679. Yeah, bloop single. So Martin bloops this one into the outfield, and he'll be on first with a base hit. Now, Terry does have 2 levels of fatigue. Martin is not attempting anything on the base paths. Does get them back to the top of the order here with Tommy McCraw. 521, and he strikes him out. That is the 5th strikeout now for Terry. And we'll bring up Don Buford. 2 outs. Runner on. 535. That's to Skowron. And Skowron has to make a little bit of a diving catch to stop it, and he will be in a foot race to the bag and beat Buford there for the third out. We head to the bottom of the eighth. Yankees have 6 more outs, but Horland has been cruising. By the way, his inning is also 6. He has not allowed another runner, though, after the 6th inning, so his fatigue level is still 0. And he faces off against the bottom of the Yankees order, starting with Elston Howard. 580. That's a fly ball right to Hirschberger, who barely had to move for this one. 1 down here in the 8th. Skowron, he's 0 for 2 today, but 3 for 6 overall with those 2 home runs in the first game. 484. That's another fly ball to center, but this time very deep. Hirschberger on the run, but he'll have time, or he'll get there in time to make the catch. All right, that brings up Billy Gardner. I have to go over here to find his card. Billy Gardner. Gardner is not a very good hitter. He hit .212 that year in 99 at-bats. And he steps in against Horland here in the bottom of the 8th. They would consider pinch hitting, but their third base position is very thin right now. 209 becomes a 409, and Gardner grounds this one to short. It's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning again. And just like that, the Yankees are down to their final 3 outs. Okay, well, Ralph Terry is still in there. He does have 2 levels of fatigue. But really a pretty quiet game for both clubs. But he will need to face the middle of the White Sox order here. There is activity in the bullpen. 171. And a leadoff walk here for Robinson. And that activity in the bullpen, the pace hastens as Terry has a rematch here with Pete Ward, who had that 2-run homer in the first inning, grounded into a double play in the 4th, and then struck out in the 6th. See what happens in this matchup. That's going to be another walk, and that is going to be the end of the day for Terry, who issues back-to-back walks here in the 9th. And that ends his day. Terry goes 8 innings, and anybody is available for the Yankees here. Probably going to be Jim Coates. Probably. Actually, Hal Reniff will come in. He had a 2.58 ERA that year. 45 innings pitched. And they're going to bring him in to hopefully keep the White Sox from scoring any more runs in today's game. Now, Reniff did pitch to a couple of batters in yesterday's game, but with the travel day tomorrow, the Yankees are confident that he will not be tired after these back-to-back appearances. All right, so we have runners on first and second and no outs. Skowron at the plate. And, by the way, Skowron is not a bunting threat. 660. It's a very good thing that they switch pitchers. 660 is a grounder to short. Kubek will flip to Richardson. They try to turn the double play, but Skowron beats the throw to first. Almost a double play. Instead, the Yankees have to settle for 1. So now we have runners on the corners. And Gene Stevens will step up. Yankees are actually going to play straight up here. hopefully get out of this one with a double play. 164. And not to be, as that one is back to the backstop. That's going to be a wild pitch. And Robinson scores. Ward moves up to second. White Sox now up 3-0 here in the ninth. .236 will be a 436. And this one's a deep drive to right. Maris all the way at the wall, but he has room to make the catch. Maris makes the catch, but Skowron, it will advance to third easily on the play. It was deep enough. And now we have Ron Hansen with 2 outs and a runner on third. And this is another deep fly ball to right. Maris at the warning track again. But that will be out number 3. So another possibility of a run there, but the White Sox come up just a few feet short twice in a row. So we head to the bottom of the ninth. White Sox up 3-0. And Horlin is just pitching a great game here. Taking a 3-hitter into the ninth. He's retired 8 straight batters. And he'll face off against the top of the Yankees order. Bobby Richardson. 131 will be a 331. And this one's a grounder back to the mound. Horlin, easy play to first. 1 out. Yankees down to their final 2 outs. Kubek steps in. He did have a double in the fourth. 425. Not this time, as this a sharp grounder to second. Near the bag, Buford pivots and throws to first for out number 2. Yankees down to their final out. Roger Maris, 0 for 3 today. 370. And this one's lifted to left. Easy fly ball to Stevens. And he'll squeeze it. And that's the ball game, folks. Yankees power 4 homers in yesterday's game in a 7-5 win. But today they come up with nothing. So the White Sox, 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Ralph Terry also pitched a great game. 5 hits. He did walk a few batters, four hitters, or 4 batters. Made that one mistake in the first to Pete Ward, who barely got it out of the ballpark for a 2-run homer. Remember, this game was almost tied in the 4th inning, the bottom of the 4th, when Mantle lifted one to center. Everybody thought it was out of here, and Hirschberger with the leaping catch at the wall to basically save this game. But what can you say other than what a performance by Joe Horlin? Horlin allowed just 3 base runners, 3 hits. That was it. Didn't walk anybody. 4 strikeouts. Masterful game and pitching performance by Horlin here in this one. So the White Sox now have tied the series at a game apiece. They've tied the series at a game apiece. Now we will be traveling to Chicago for games 3 and 4 of this series. Yankees actually hoping that they don't have to come back to New York. They're hoping that they'll finish this one out in Chicago. But after all the offensive showing in Game 1, things fell flat here in Game 2. Let's see who the pitchers for the next game will be. The White Sox will have Gary Peters back on the mound. Peters hasn't yet to pitch in this series. Horlin went 9 innings. And so his fatigue would be 5. So yeah, Gary Peters. Peters is 20-8 that year with a 2.50 ERA. So another great pitcher for the White Sox will be on the mound to face the number 3 starter for the Yankees, Bill Stafford. Stafford's 2.68 ERA, 14-9 in 1961. So the Yankees still will have their work cut out for them. But that's where we will leave things today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed that game. A great pitching performance by both teams. And yeah, that's where we will leave things, as I said. Appreciate you watching. Leave some comments down below what you thought of that. Hopefully you found that to be interesting. And be sure to check things out over at baseballmaelstrom.com if you want to follow all the action. But until next time, thank you again, and have a great evening.